On my way back from the business trip, I decided to give myself a little time for relaxation. So, I booked a room through Airbnb. I ensured all the safety measures regarding scams and fraud. It was my first solo vacation, and I was excited about that. Throughout my flight, I was taking notes of the places to visit and restaurants to try. I had 3 days and was eager to enjoy them to the fullest. Upon reaching the airport, I took a taxi to the address my Airbnb host had sent me. It was an apartment building, and the address he sent me was on the 12th floor. The building was old and was not so elegant. Ignoring this fact, I ought to enjoy my stay here. I took the elevator to the room. The host was waiting for me in the room. He welcomed me there and left as soon as I entered the room, saying he had an urgent meeting somewhere. I found it weird, but shrugged it off. After the host left, I moved around the room searching the surroundings. It was a small room with a bath and a bed. A floor lamp was placed on one side of the bed, and a coat hanging stand was placed beside the lamp. The rent was affordable, so I didn't mind the simplicity of the room. I decided to get washed first and go out. Getting out of the bath, I dressed up and went out, locking the door behind me. I spent the day visiting different places, meeting nice people and eating out. Before going back, I ate dinner at a high-rated restaurant. The day was well spent, as I was tired at the end. Now I wanted to go back to the room and rest for the night peacefully. I got back to the building after midnight and went straight to my room. As I opened the door of the room and entered inside, I felt something strange. I remembered turning the lights off on my way out, but now the lights were on. I checked my luggage, and everything was in its place. Nothing was missing. I ignored the thought and thought maybe I mistakenly left the lights open. I was too tired to think about anything else and went to bed. My eyes opened in the middle of the night. I had an urge of thirst, so I got up to drink water. As I opened the lights, they started flickering. I turned them off once and opened them again. But still, they were flickering. I left them like that. I drank water and went back to bed after closing the lights. As I was drifting back to sleep, I heard some strange noises coming from the room. I tried to ignore them and sleep, but they started growing louder. Annoyed, I got out of bed and tried to search for the source of the noise. But I found nothing. I opened the door of the room and checked outside, but the hallway was clear and no sign of anything could be seen there. Confused, I closed the door. I noticed that the noise is not coming anymore. Ignoring the whole situation, I went back to bed. However, a few minutes had passed when I started hearing the noises again. On listening closely, I felt that they were coming from inside the room, but I couldn't find the source. A thought crossed my mind that maybe this room was haunted. I felt a chill going down my spine at this thought. Soon I rejected the thought, laughing at it, and made a mind note to call the host first thing in the morning and inform him about the strange noises. In the morning, I tried calling the host but couldn't reach him. I planned to try again later in the day and grabbed my cap from the coat stand to head out. As I swiftly picked up my cap, it caused a vibration that knocked over the lamp on the coat stand. The sudden thud shocked me, and frustrated with myself, I bent down to retrieve both the lamp and its cover. While putting back the cover, something caught my attention. A very tiny wire running along the length of the lamp. Curiosity got hold of me as I followed this wire, only to discover a hidden speaker attached underneath it. Intrigued even further, upon closer inspection, I noticed there was also an inconspicuous camera discreetly positioned on top of the lamp's cover, where it would not be easily visible from a normal viewpoint. My heart raced as I realized that the lamp contained a hidden camera. I stood frozen in disbelief, my mind racing with thoughts of who could be behind this sinister plan. I quickly grabbed my phone and took photos of the hidden cameras, determined to gather evidence. I assumed that the host was involved in all this. Suddenly I remembered feeling strange after coming back yesterday to find the lights on. The host must have come here and set up surveillance equipment. Then I also realized that last night the noises were coming from this hidden speaker. I disabled the camera and speaker by cutting off their wires and took the camera with me for evidence. When attempts to reach the host failed, I immediately went to the local police station to report the incident and presented them with pictures and the camera as proof. The police assured me that they would conduct further investigation into this matter while gathering information about booking details from me. They promptly dispatched a team for additional search efforts. I couldn't stay in that room anymore, so I packed my luggage and left. As the investigation unfolded, it was revealed that the host of the Airbnb room had been involved in a criminal operation, using hidden cameras to spy on unsuspecting guests. I couldn't help but wonder if this was an isolated incident, or if there were others who had fallen victim to this sinister scheme. It's been 2 years to my marriage. Things were going smoothly until I became busy enough to ignore my wife. The amount of work at the office was too much for me to think. Although I couldn't control the situation, I could tell that my wife was irritated by this. She was so offended that I had forgotten our anniversary that she stopped speaking to me altogether. In an effort to make up for everything in my hectic schedule, I had planned to give her a lavish vacation as a surprise. I knew that doing this would make her smile again. I reserved a luxurious cottage in the woods for the next weekend through Airbnb. Excited for the plan, I was eagerly waiting for the weekend. When the weekend came, I told my wife to prepare for our 2-day vacation since we were going somewhere. Perplexed and a little upset, she agreed to go. I could see her growing happier throughout our journey to the woods, which pleased me. I smiled, confident that my choice for a vacation was the right one, though I had no idea what was in store for us in the woods. My wife was surprised at the end to find out where we were heading, because I had not told her. She was too surprised to talk when we got there and saw a glimpse of the lavish cabin. Her reactions were entertaining me. She hugged me once she had recovered from the surprise. The host was waiting for us inside when we got inside. He had made sure we had everything we could possibly need. Everything was there for us to use, including the delicious food and the internal heating system. The host gave us a tour of the cabin, which had a little kitchen, a lounge area, and a bedroom with an attached bathroom. The most fascinating feature was the little patio connected to the lounge, which afforded a view of the lovely wooded surroundings. This cabin seemed the closest thing to heaven on earth. The hospitable host prepared a nice feast for us for lunch. We grabbed lunch after he left and had a little stroll outdoors before it became dark. Given that there were other cabins nearby, the host gave me the assurance that the cabin was secure and that guards patrolled at night. Trusting the host, we got cozy and rested in the cabin. We were having a great time together, laughing and chatting while sitting near the lounge's fireplace. We wanted to make the most of our first holiday together in a while. We decided to have dinner. Cooking ingredients were available, so we made a quick pasta and ate. We sat on the balcony with a hot cup of coffee after dinner, taking in the stunning night sky and the cool breeze. Everything appeared so unreal. This was too lovely of a vacation. We had a great day and went to bed early because we were so exhausted at night. I was awakened in the middle of the night by some odd sounds. It was around 3:30 in the morning when I looked at the time. I went back to sleep, assuming it was all in my head. Not even a few minutes could pass by before the sound came again. This time, it resembled footsteps and was too loud and obvious to be ignored. I got out of bed, a little startled, wondering who could be there at this hour. Initially, I assumed these were the security officers patrolling the area, but then I realized the host had said they would patrol in cars rather than on foot. I looked out of the window after turning off the room lights. To my horror, a man was lurking around the cabin. He was peeking through the other window as if finding a way inside. Terrified, I hurriedly checked to see if the room's windows were locked. I then went to the lounge, and without turning on the lights, I double-checked the balcony access through the lounge. Right now, the last thing I wanted to do was to attract the attention of that man. After that, I checked the front door. When I turned around, I saw my wife coming out of the room, but before I could warn her, she turned on the lights of the lounge and asked me what was going on. Before I could respond, banging on the door started. Terrified, I made sure that the door was locked. After a few minutes, banging stopped. I decided to call the host and let him know about the incident. As I was about to call him, a figure emerged from the shadows and approached the window of the lounge. The lights inside illuminated the man's face, revealing his features clearly. He began forcefully pounding on the window, causing us to hastily close the curtains in fear. Despite this, we could still hear his persistent banging noise outside. I contacted the host and informed him of everything that had happened. As daylight broke, the host showed up and expressed regret for the incident. Our lovely holiday had become a terrible memory. We had to leave and head back home as quickly as we could. I couldn't stop thinking about how our lovely vacation had been ruined the entire way back. Despite my wife's assurances that she had a good day before the disaster, I felt bad for not thoroughly investigating the site and, as a result, putting ourselves in danger. At the same moment, a sensation of relief washed over me that we had not been harmed in any way. It had been a week since our final semester ended, so we friends decided to go on a trip to refresh ourselves. We booked a spacious house through Airbnb. The house was located in an isolated area, away from the bustling city and surrounded by lush greenery. As we arrived at the address, we were amazed to find our Airbnb booking was not just a regular house, but a lavishly built modern state-of-the-art house. Excitement and curiosity filled the air as we entered the house. The interior was nothing short of impressive, with state-of-the-art technology, comfortable furniture, and all the comforts one could ask for. It was like stepping into a sci-fi movie, but with the coziness of a home. The swimming pool in the backyard became our favorite spot to relax and cool off under the hot summer sun. Surrounded by beautiful green spaces, we felt a sense of tranquility and peace that allowed us to truly unwind. Little did we know that our excitement would soon turn into fear. Late in the night, as we were all gathered in the living room, sharing stories and laughter, we decided to play a game of truth and dare. We turned the bottle and played for some time, having fun. The bottle stooped towards me, and it was my turn to choose truth or dare. I chose the dare. My friends gave me the dare to spend 10 minutes in the storeroom at the corner of the house. Its door was closed, and we hadn't yet visited it. Being courageous and brave, I got up and went straight to the store. As I opened the door, I felt a strange smell as if someone had been using the room, and it wasn't cleaned for ages. Anyhow, I turned on the flashlight of my mobile and went inside. I tried to find the light switch when I stumbled upon something. I tried to see what was there but couldn't fully see it. Somehow, I found the light switch, and as I turned it on, there were things all around the room and dust everywhere. No one could have possibly used that room for living. There was a window on one side. I found it strange that the storeroom had a window. I tried to move around the room, making sure I didn't touch anything. In the back corner of the room, I found something strange. There was a mask hanging from the wall and a coat beside it, and some space had been made there as if someone had cleaned the things from there to use it for any purpose. Feeling strange, I waited for 10 minutes to complete. After 10 minutes, I went back and told my friends about the room and how it felt strange. Ignoring it, we continued playing. Some time passed playing and laughing when we heard a noise. Upon listening closely, it felt like the noise was coming from that corner storeroom. We paused, exchanging concerned glances, unsure of what could have caused the noise. We decided to investigate, slowly making our way to the room. We tried to open the room, but it was locked. It was strange as some time before I was in the room, and it wasn't locked at all. As we were standing there discussing it, we heard the noise again. A sense of fear settled in as we thought that it could be something frightening. As we were standing there, we heard someone speaking inside. We hushed each other and tried to listen closely. Someone was talking on the phone and telling someone about the plan going well and how they should plan their next move. Finding this conversation suspicious, we decided to call the police. As we were about to call the police, we heard footsteps. Thinking that whoever was in the room was coming out, we hurried towards a room and locked ourselves inside. We called the police, but the signals weren't strong enough. We still kept trying to catch the signals. On the outside, we could hear the stranger moving around. He stopped at one place, and a thought crossed our minds that he must have seen our belongings in the lounge, which we left there in a hurry. Scared, we sat there silently. Soon we got the signal and managed to make the call to the police, telling them the situation while making sure our voice was quiet. The policeman on the other end assured us that the help was on the way, but it would take some time to reach there. As we waited in silence, every creak of the wooden flooring and footstep was making our hearts race. The minutes felt like an hour as we waited, however. We couldn't hear the footsteps anymore after some time. We couldn't help but wonder if the stranger became aware of our presence. When even after some time no one entered the room, we thought that maybe he left the house. Taking a deep breath, we cautiously stepped out of the room and went towards the main door. But just as we reached the door, we heard a voice behind us leaving so soon, aren't we? We turned around to find the stranger standing in front of us. Scared, we didn't know what to do now. Just when the stranger was coming closer, the sound of police sirens echoed through the area. The stranger's face twisted with anger. He lunged towards us, but we managed to escape. Soon the police entered the house. Upon seeing them, the criminal tried to get away, but the police caught him swiftly. After that, the police asked us all to provide them with the details about what happened there.